Colonel Mohamed Aliou Ba and Colonel Omar Faye. The Director of the Defense and Security, the Senegal Gambia Secretary, Principal Staff Officers, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly and respectfully observed. Now we have come to the end of the meeting of the Joint Military Committee of Senegal and the Gambia. The event now will culminate to signing of the final communique. That will be followed by a closing remark by both heads of delegates. Then the press will be called upon to ask questions, if any. Now, I will call on the heads of the delegates to start signing of the final communique.
Yeah.
I will call upon the Deputy Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces to give his closing remark. Deputy Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces. Is that Major General Osman Sir? You have to close up.
Thank you so much, the MC, and thank you everyone. Good evening. The Deputy Chief of Defense Staff, Senegalese Armed Forces, the defense attaches here present, Gambia, Senegal, the Director of Security at the Defense, Senegal-Gambia, delegates from the Senegalese Armed Forces, delegates from the Gambia Armed Forces, all other protocols respectfully observed. Good afternoon to you all. Let me take this opportunity to thank the two heads of state, that is the President of the Republic of Senegal and the President of the Republic of Gambia, for coming up with this initiative for the two armed forces to form a joint military committee in order to look into the issues affecting our two nations, especially along the borderline. This idea was also highlighted by our Chief of Defense Staff, that is the Senegalese Chief of Defense Staff and the Gambia Chief of Defense Staff, especially during the visit of the Chief of Defense Staff of the Senegalese Armed Forces, General Cisse, to the Gambia sometime last year in November. As of that, the first meeting of the committee was held in Ziguinchor this year, January. And then the delegation from here were fully represented in Ziguinchor. A lot of issues have been discussed, especially with issues of security challenges within our borders, such as the banditry activities and some other organized crimes, among other things. A communique was signed, and then some part of the communique was executed, but others could not be executed because of some challenges and other administrative activities. If you could be aware, there was an OIC organized in the Gambia here, and it has erupted some of the discussions that were highlighted in the Ziguinchor communique, because most of the troops that were supposed to participate in the patrols along the border were deployed to secure participants or delegates who came to the Gambia for the OIC. Aside that, most of the issues were resolved. Some of the crimes or within the border areas, the commanding officers from the Gambian side and the zone commanders from the Senegalese side were in touch in order to see how best to solve some of these border crimes. And how that can be done is to organize patrols, communicate to each other, share information, and see how best to comb some of these crimes within our borders. The idea of this military committee will help a lot, because we are two neighbors, we share cultural values and so many things. So with these military committees, it will help us to be in touch, especially the two armed forces, to organize some patrols along our borders, and also to share ideas as to how we can improve our border security. This is one of our mandates as the committee, and for the past 2 days, that is yesterday and today, we have been discussing a lot of issues ranging from patrols and other issues that are affecting our two countries, especially with regards to defense and security. Today we culminated the meeting, and then we signed a communique with my brother here, General Ndur, representing our two armed forces, and the communique will be executed to the latter, because this will help us to ensure that our borders are secure. If we do not have a border security, that means we may not be doing our right responsibility as the military armed forces responsible to secure our territorial integrity. Therefore, I want to seize this opportunity to thank the two Chief of Defense Staff, and also to thank the delegation here for finding time, even with their all busy schedules, to come here for these 2 days to participate in bringing out the issues that are affecting us, especially along the borders. Here we are seated today, we have all the battalion commanders here along the border lines between Senegal and the Gambia, and also their zone commanders are also here present. So each of them will partner from here. It started since the signing of the first communique in Ziguinchor, and it continues from today. Each of them will partner, and then we'll work together to ensure that we patrol our borders. We look what is affecting us along our borders to ensure that there is peace and security within the two nations. How to do it is a joint patrol, parallel patrol, or a combined patrol. Some of you may ask, what are those? These are military terms. When I say joint patrol, that is, we will conduct patrols within our borders. That is the two armed forces. We can also conduct patrol independently. That is, one side, the Gambia Armed Forces, and the other side, the Senegalese Armed Forces. And The other one is also to share some military training exercises or conduct some military training exercises among the two armed forces, and also the training. Some of you could be aware some time ago, the Senegalese armed forces has been open to us. They have given us all their institutions, or allow us to use all their institutions with regards to training. Let me take this opportunity on behalf of the Chief of Defense Staff and the Gambia Armed Forces in general to thank you, General Ndur, and to extend our thanks and appreciation to General Sise for giving us the opportunity to use all their training facilities in Dakar without any cost to the Gambia. Thank you so much. We are grateful. Not to prolong everything, let me just stop here because your session of question and answers might be longer than 15 hours speech. This is where we are, and I want to take this opportunity once again to thank the Senegalese delegation and also the Gambian delegation for taking time to come up with this brilliant communique, especially with regards to our planned future patrols and also our engagement with the two armed forces. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, I have the honor now to call on the Deputy Chief of Defense Staff for Senegal, Major General Fulgence Ndu, to deliver his closing remark. Sir, you have the floor.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no problem.
No, dengan dia
Okay, okay. Oh, the mic. Okay.
man ci wolof laay wax nag. maa ngi leen di nuyu man maay Major Général Fulgence Ndour, député CDS bu Sénégal. man maa jiite délégation sénégalaise bi ngeen gis mu toog nii. balaa may tàmbalee dama bëgg a gërëm suñu naataangoo waa Gambie te Major Général Ousmane Gomez jiite leen fii ci teeru bi ñu teeru ak ganal bi ñu ganal bi ñu ñëwee fii ba tey yombalal ñu liggéey bi te ñu liggéey ci xel bu dal ak volonté maanaam franchise bu doy sëkk maa ngi ko ciy gërëm di ko ñaan mu jàllale ko CDS bu Gambie ndaxte ñun CDS yi lañ fi toogal. li may rafetlu tamit mooy que vraiment liggéey nañu ci anam yu leer ndaxte xam ngeen ne dañoo daje woon Ziguinchor bi ñu dajee Ziguinchor dañoo tëraloon benn programme boobu maanaam liggéey nañ ci waaye defuñu ci ay jéego yu rëy ndaxte moom expliqué na leen li waral loolu moo waral dañoo bari woon ay activité ci suñuy dëkk def nañ ay planification waaye jotuñoo exécuter yenn mission yi mais li ëpp solo mooy période boobu yëpp ku ci nekk yaa ngi doon jokkoo ak sa naataango di waxtaan ak moom di sottante ak moom xalaat te problème bu am ci frontière bi doon ngeen waxtaan di jéem a trouver solution te foog naa ne loolu moo njëkk ci objectifu comité bi am benn plateforme la boo xam ne de part et d'autre ku ci nekk di nga mun a waxtaan ak sa morom bu problème amee ngeen mun a sottante xalaat seet ban solution moo ci gën ñun nag bu ñuy wax problème frontière ñu ngi wax lépp li nga xam ne dina yàqal population bi ñu dëkk ci frontière bi ñu dem ak dikk ñu liggéey seen liggéey dara du leen gàllankoor maanaam la sécurité totale des populations léegi ñu ngi ko tàmbalee ci trafic de bois bi trafic de drogue bi ci banditisme bi ci bandi yi làqu daw jóge Gambie daw làqu fële wala jóge Sénégal ñëw làqu fii loolu yëpp ci problème sécurité yi la te bu ñuy waxtaan dañuy boole loolu yëpp ci biir problème sécuritaire alors suñu objectif nag mooy d'abord mu bañ a am benn bërëb ci frontière bi boo xam ne mënuñu fa àgg bu ñu fa bëggee àgg waaw loolu moo waral ñu bëgg a def ay patrouille conjointe wala patrouille parallèle wala patrouille mixte wala sax ñu tase ci ay bërëb yi nga xam ne foofu lañ bëgg a tase pour def liggéey bi ñu bëgg a def dalal xelu population yi tëralaat nañu beneen programme fii ak décembre ndaxte décembre mooy suñu prochaine réunion meeting bi ñëwaat programme boobu dinañ def yëpp pour ñu tëral ko defe ko niñ ko tëralee dafa laaj concentration ñu concentré wu ci li ñu programmé concentré wu ci li ñu bëgg a def parce que samba boy yi nekk ci frontière bi ñii di trafiquer drogue ñii di làqatu ñii di rebelle ñii di def nii ñooñu dañuy dugg ci ay jëf ak ay propagande yoo xam ne bu ñu concentré wul ci li ñu bëgg a def dinañ ñu détourner ci leneen moo tax il faut ñu concentré wu pour li ñu bëgg a def ñu def ko ndax ñun sécurité population bi moo ñu yëkkati moo ñu soxal loolu laa bëggoon a wax ci door bi di gërëmaat délégation gambienne bi di gërëm Major général Gomez di gërëm autorités yi fi nekkoon yëpp ci opening cérémonie bi ministre de la défense le secrétaire permanent ak le représentant de l'ambassadeur du Sénégal en Gambie ñu leen di gërëm merci.
Thank you very much. Now we'll open the floor for the press. But we want it to be orderly. If you want to ask questions, you introduce yourself and the company you are representing.
Leen ma delloo ci micro bi.
Who's going to start? Yeah, yes.
Oh, the mic's are here.
Good evening, sir. My question goes to Major General Usman Gomez. Sir, as the meeting has ended, what are the expectations and the way forward regarding this meeting?
Thank you so much, Madam. From which?
Sorry, GRTS, sir.
From GRTS.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, I guess part of your question have been answered by myself and the Deputy CDS from Senegal. The expectation here is that what we...
They need the mic to point, please.
Need the mic, especially this one.
Okay, thank you so much. Fine. Thank you for that question. The expectations are very high because as I said here, the planning we put forward in the Zigen short meeting, we are hampered by some of our activities in both countries, and especially the Gambia. That was the time we were hosting the OIC summit. But here the expectation is that you are aware of some of the troubles that are happening within our border areas or along the border, just like what the CDSRs, the deputy CDSRs just said. We're facing some banditry activities, illegal trafficking of drugs, logging of timbers, and many other issues. So the expectation here, as we sign the communique, these are some of the things that we want to call. These are some of the things we want to conduct some joint patrols, individual or single-handed country patrol, or either side, that is a patrol from the Gambia Armed Forces or from the Senegalese Armed Forces, or we either meet and also to sensitize the community. This is also our plan, because sometimes if you don't sensitize the community, it becomes a problem, because you have to go there and tell them why you are here, and you know their problems and you see how best to solve their problem. Solving their problems may be patrolling there every time and so on, because the borders are always a problem. Villages along our borders and the porousness of our borders create a lot of problems. So with this meeting being concluded today, we have put in place so many things that we can do, and we expect that from here against December, our next meeting, we want to ensure that what we put in that communique, we execute it to the latter. That is our aim, and that will obviously help us, and it will give us a very good opportunity to comb some of these illegal issues or organized crime within our borders. Thank you.
Next.
Okay. Good morning, Deputy CDS of the Deputy CDS of both countries. I am Samantha Steve. Well, the question I want to ask is, what legal authority do the Senegalese forces have to be intruding our borders, considering the fact that the hot pursuit agreement has not been ratified by our lawmakers? Thank you. The hot pursuit agreement. To who? You.
Myself. Thank you so much. If you look at our defense and security agreement and the protocol for the implementation of some of these defense agreements, it has clearly spelled out what we can actually do, especially with regards to the two armed forces. The issue of hot pursuit, I think sometimes people miss what is hot pursuit, because if you know what actually a hot pursuit is, it will be easy for you to understand it. Hot pursuit in this situation is that, like, if you chase a criminal and it enters to another country, you can continue to chase the individual for 5 to 7 kilometers inside the other country. The only thing that you have to do is to notify the other country that, okay, we are chasing someone and then we are entering your country, and that is it. It's not a question of the Senegalese are entering into our country or so on, or Gambians are entering into our country. Some of the commanding officers are here present with me, and they can tell you that sometimes you will drive along that border and then you enter inside Senegal. Likewise, the Senegalese are entering. The question is, sometimes our borders are not marked, and this is the Border Commission are working on that to clearly show us this clear cut of where the Gambia ends and where the Senegalese ends. So sometimes if you're going on patrol, by the time you realize where you are either inside Senegal or you are inside the Gambia. So these are some of the issues we are facing, and the Border Commission, their representative is here, and they are working on, even in our communique, what we said in that is that let them quickly come up with this clear cut of the border, so that each and everyone will know where the Gambia stops and where Senegal stops. Because if there is no clear cut mark, it's very difficult to actually know where you're going to stop. Sometimes we use GPS when we are doing patrol, but sometimes some of these gadgets are not accurate. By the time you realize, you are already in Senegal or you are already in the Gambia. So these are some of the problems. But with this military committee, the commanding officers are all here. We asked them that, and it is signed in the communique that whenever you are coming to the Gambia or you are patrolling within to the border, let your counterpart know that you are coming, so that in the event you enter the Gambia, he will obviously know that, okay, you are in the Gambia. Likewise, Senegal. Like, let's say, 2BN, that is Farafenni. The counterpart is here. If you look at Farafenni, the Gambia, there is nothing like a buffer. Our border is just close that. If you go to certain villages in the border, it's like there is no buffer zone. You don't even know where the Gambia stop and Senegal. Go to Kara. Have you ever been to Kara? You don't even know where is Senegal and where is Gambia. So it's so close that, you know, it's difficult to pinpoint that, okay, this is the border, this is where I'm stopping. This is Senegal, this is where I'm stopping. This is Gambia, this is where I'm stopping. But with this communique we've signed, and with this committee, we are working together. All the commanding officers along the borders are working together. Anytime they are patrolling towards the Gambia, they will notify the Gambian commander around that end. In the event they got lost, you know, they are already notified. Likewise, to the other side of Senegal, they are also notified. So this will help us a lot that we don't have that idea of we are on hot pursuit, we enter Gambia or so and so. I think people need to be sensitized, and that is what we are also doing. Part of this committee is also to, you know, sensitize people along the border, to tell them sometimes it's not the fault of the military to enter into other zones. Sometimes, even in the advanced world, they are using drones and so on, but mistakenly you get into other country. Just, I think today I was just even reading news, and I saw that a drone from Canada mistakenly fly over New Zealand. You see? So it's bound to happen. As long as we share the same common border, we will be entering each other's land, not by deliberately or intentional, but sometimes we got lost. We do not have that sophisticated equipment or whatever to tell us that this is the border. And you know the Gambian borders, very porous. Very, very.
Just a follow-up question. How many Senegalese forces have been put before justice, you know, for the killings of a civilian, I mean the truck driver carrying timber? Are those Senegalese put before justice for the shooting incident?
I cannot actually tell you whether they are put into justice or not. Our deliberation here is not to that. Our deliberation is for how we conduct our patrols, but we are not here to find out whether the Senegalese armed forces killing our driver, you said they kill our driver?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Okay. That is not, it's out of our mandate.
Thank you.
You are.
Man journal.
Which
Présenté wu la.
Paradise.
Good afternoon to you all. My name is Lolly. I'm Kamara from QTV. So I have two questions. The first one is the expectations, like you said, are very huge or high. And I just want to ask, how do you intend to implement those actions or agreement from this meeting? And also, does the agreement how does it align or contribute to the overall aim and objectives of the Gambia Armed Forces?
Say it again.
Yes, I said
Your
that.
first question.
The first question is, the expectations are very high, like you said. So how do you intend to implement those actions from this agreement?
Okay.
And yeah, so you got the second question.
Okay, the implementation stage of it, as I said, we have the Defense and Security Agreement that was signed by our seniors or the foreign ministries some way back in 2017, 2018, and then also the protocol to implement it. Like right now, we are at the implementation stage. How are we going to implement that? Is that we are going to implement it by conducting joint patrols along our borders, and also to share some information with regards to any threats affecting our borderlines. And as we discussed here for the past 1 or 2 days, these are some of the modalities that we discussed. And there is a plan already put in place. We hear how we are going to execute those plans. And those plans are the implementation of the protocol and the defense. Your second question?
Yes, so how does this agreement contribute to the overall aim and objectives of the Gambia Armed Forces?
Actually, it is not only the Gambia Armed Forces, because if the borders are secure, it's not for the armed forces. We are here to protect you, and that is what we are doing. We want to ensure that our borders are well secure, so that people can move. If you look at the ECOWAS protocol, it says what? Free movement of goods and people. But if the border is not secure, how can you move? So we are not only doing it for the armed forces. The armed forces is just there to ensure that that free movement is there, that that liberty is there for you to move in and out of your country and outside your country. So this is our expectation, and we want to ensure that we implement this to ensure that our borders are free from crimes and other related crimes as well. You're welcome. Oh, is everyone want to answer?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Because we want to be too sure that implementations will take place.
It will, inshallah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I am Sally Kamara from Star TV. My question is, the Gambia and Senegal have common denominator to maintain peace and order, especially on the southern border, which is of course a home for the MFDC. Now my question is, will this joint patrol not drag the Gambia into the decades-long conflict with Senegal freedom fighters?
Good question. Yes.
Thank you very much for your question. Patrols, military patrols is part of our mandate, and no one can stop us from patrolling our borders, be it a rebel zone, be it a free zone or whatever. As long as we are there to protect the integrity of the country, we have all rights to patrol our border. Either there is a rebel faction at the other side of the border, or there is no rebel faction. Our borders, we dare to patrol our borders, and nothing can stop us from patrolling our borders. We are not participating in any rebellion or fighting rebellion with Senegal or whatsoever. Senegal are having their problem. Our patrol doesn't mean that we are dragging into fighting their war. We are not fighting any war. We are just patrolling our border, and we will patrol our border, and no one can stop us from patrolling our border. If villages around that area are affected and we are not patrolling those areas, are we fair to the community of that area? If we are patrolling areas that are not affected by whatever rebellion or whatsoever, and we leave the other side, are we fair to those people? We dare to patrol all our borders, irrespective of whether they are affected or they are not affected. we have to patrol the whole country, and that is it.
Thank you. And then my second question. I want to believe the Gambia and Senegal have different tactical operation methods. Don't you think the joint operation may generate misunderstanding in terms of operations?
Thank you so much, madam. Did you read about NATO? NATO, you have Francophone and Anglophone. How many countries? You have French, English, how to call it? Portuguese and others. They all come together and they are all working together. So being Francophone and Anglophone doesn't mean that you don't have to form a military part or you don't have to form a military committee. That is not. We are here in the Gambia. Most of our militaries are trained in Francophone. Most of our militaries are trained in Turkey. But we all combine and do the same operation, and it works. We go to the United Nations. We meet people from where? Francophone, the Japanese, the Chinese. We work together to fight the war and win the war. So nothing is impossible. With them, it's possible.
And my final question is, what is the plan? What is the plan put in place for the joint operation? Say, as such activities require critical enablers like technical communication, apparatus, and effective use of.
Thank you so much. That's why we are here to plan for it.
Yes.
We cannot. The plans are already in place. We will not tell you how we plan it. These are military operations. But based on security reasons, we will not tell you. But when we are actually on the ground to operate, you will know. It's no secret. But we will not tell you what are in place because operations need some logistic support and so on. So if we have all the logistic support to do our operations, we will kickstart our operation. And we are hopeful that we will be supported to kickstart our operations. Mauro, you want to talk? Okay, one more.
Yes. Just one question, sir. Yes. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Lamin Ba. I'm from N24. I have one question for the General Deputy CDS of Senegal. What are the... All right, it's fine, no problem. Okay. What are... Can I ask in English or in Wolof? Okay. Okay, in Wolof, no problem. Okay. No, it's fine. Okay. Okay. Lima laajte mooy. No problem. Waaw baax na. Jërëjëf lu ma laajte mooy lan ay jéego yoo xamante ne Senegalese forces yi dinañ ko jël léegi pour ñu mun a stop loo xamante ne mooy liñ dee shoot Gambians yi inside Gambia because loolu ñu bëri ñu ngi jooyanti si loolu lan ay steps yoo leen pare pour jël léegi pour ñu stop loolu.
waxal bu baax.
ma ne lan ay jéego yoo leen di jël léegi yéen Senegalese forces yi pour ñu mun a stop liñ ñu nga di fetal Gambians yi inside Gambia parce que loolu moom lan mooy steps yoo leen di jël pour
non jéego bu ñuy jël ñu nag waa Gambie ñoo koy jël moo tax ñun ñu nekk fii tey ñun ak waa Gambie ñoo koy jël jéego yooyu pour def ko n'est-ce pas moom lan la wax les Gambiens bon ti mais yan Gambien yooyu ban information la bon ñun de surtout ñu kenn.
li muy wax mooy boo seetee si frontière bi.
waaw
léegi-léeg dañ koy dégg ne village yi si nekk si frontière bi léegi-léeg nga dégg bulet bu Richard te ña laal koo xam ne mu ngi dëkk si booda bi mu dee soo léegi mu ne comme yéen yan jéego ngeen a jël pour mun a arrêté loolu noonu xam nga loolu lu amati.
bon pour commencer daal xam naa ne xëy na communication bi moo demee noonu mais vraiment ñun dóor sànniwuñu bulet ci frontière bu mu dugg Gambie loolu moom wax dëgg yàlla mën naa koo wax man Casamance laa nekkoon yàgg naa fa trop yàgguma faa jóge vraiment loolu xam naa ko léegi nag bon affaire frontière ku ne da ngay wax propagande bi dafa bari ak yooyu bon xaw ma ndax am ngeen ay exemple précis mais man de aw ma exemple bu précis boo xam ne bolet nañ biir Gambie bu fekkente ne loolu am na aussi ñun bu ñuy patrouille ensemble loolu dinañ ko mën a xam dinañ ko mën a régler moo tax ñu bëgg a liggéey ak ñoom mais dinaa dellu si ci question bi madame waxoon fële ne problème mu MFDC fële ci frontière bi mais ñun dañuy patrouille ak Mauritanie dañuy patrouille ak Mali every time presque mën naa la wax ne léegi nii every week dañuy patrouille ak Mauritanie dañuy patrouille ak Mali di dem di ñëw mais foofu amul MFDC kon bu ñu ñëwee di patrouille fi MFDC taxul MFDC ñun fu ñu bëgg a dem fu MFDC nekk mun nañ faa dem te dañ fay dem voilà dañoo bëgg bokk ak Gambia daal di sécuriser frontière bi am na ci ñu soxal loolu duñ ko nëbb trafic de tamba bi trafic timba voilà trafic drogue yooyu yëpp soxal nañu mais population yi nekk foofu benn lañu population gambienne population sénégalaise benn lañu yéen sax xam ngeen ne benn lañu donc bu ñuy àndee ak Gambia di patrouille foofu population yëpp lañ koy defal yàlla dafa def Gambie nag amul beneen frontière bu dul Sénégal moo tax bu Gambie amoon frontière ak Mali Gambie dina patrouille aussi ak Mali loolu la.
ok comme kii nu ko doon waxee si wàllu sécurité bi ak tiré yenn bari comme lu ma nekk di wax yéen njiit yéen a xam ne ni mbir yi ni Dakar wala Ziguinchor xaw ngeen a sori village maanaam villageois yu nekk si border est-ce que yéen da ngeen di mun di déggante est-ce que déggante bi yéen ak seen naataango yi nga xam ne ñoo nekk si border bi foofu noonu est-ce que déggante bi mu ngi jaar yoon ndax always lépp loo xam si village yooyu yéen da ngeen koy yëg because su incident bu ñu laa wax nii xamul nag soo juumul ngeen yëglu wala yëglu soo si loolu laa laaj ndax yéen communication bi mu ngi jaar yoon si villageois yu nekk foofu noonu ak yéen njiit
mais kii mu ngi nii comme zone bu Ziguinchor.
kii mooy
mu ngi nii
zone commandant Ziguinchor area booy wax noonu.
naataangoom bu Gambia mu ngi
Gambia tamit kele 3 BN that is Kanilai and then 1 BN Yundum because ñoom ñoo responsible area yooyu noonu ñoom ñu ngi nii that's why all of them are here today in this meeting to ensure that there is that communication, there is that sharing of information, so that dara su ñëwee or dara su happening within that area ñoom ñaar ñi dañoo déggoo ñu lifi waaye léegi-léegi xam nga people bi nit yi ñoo ñu dee soxla sometimes propaganda bi moo dee bari dañ dee propaganda so much understand nga dara su happening let's take our time and ask ñun dañ dee dégg si biir séeréer dégg naa ko Gambian bi sometimes loolu mooy ñu sonal including myself understand nga dégg naa ko kenn du fekkee ku nekk dégg naa ko ba pare dañ ko dee escalate torop if something happen nañ teg suñu time ñu laajte like you the journalist teg leen seen time ngeen laajte da ngeen dee dem ba foofu di laajte yanaa waaye dañoo toog di binda si book bi rek let's try to go to the ground you said lan moo xew like if incident happen in Kanilai commander is here. Come to the armed forces. Call the living you guinea fee. You verify. Why don't they go to verify? Again, I chocolate. You get start the put a in the Lumbuga on this social media. Understand? No. Let me come. You don't know how memory. Understand? You journalists can on the social media. Understand? Then verify. So sometimes in the military. Sometimes I get